Episode 4. We. Alright, so I don't know where we left off, so I'm just gonna start randomly. Um, Jack Cooper and BT finally got back from portal hopping, um, and they decided to settle in for the holidays. And Jack Cooper had never celebrated Christmas, um, but BT had. So BT's like, alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take your house, we're gonna spray paint it red, green, and white for the holidays, and we're gonna hang Christmas tree from the roof. And Jack Cooper's like, is this really what people do for the holidays? And BT's like, I don't know. So, suddenly, the legendary Sir Hammerlock shows up at Jack Cooper's doorstep, and he's like, uh, may I help you with your Christmas designs? And Jack Cooper's like, I have no idea who you are, but sure. Um, and then they go Christmas shopping. And suddenly Jack Cooper hears this really whiny song that goes, all I want for Christmas is you. And Jack Cooper's like, what the hell is that? And Hammerlock's like, oh my good sir, that is Christmas music. And I'm doing a horrible impression of him. But yeah, so they're in the store, and suddenly he starts singing. Hammerlock starts singing the song, and he's in a store and he's singing. Anyways, um, so Jack Cooper's like, "Are you trying to reference a funny movie with Will Ferrell?" And Hammerlock's like, "I have no idea who that guy is. Who this Will Ferrell is? Is he really Ferrell?" And Jack Cooper's like, no, that's just his last name. And Hammerlock's like, well, let's go hunt him. Um, and then Hammerlock runs off and tries to go hunt this feral Will. And Jack Cooper's stuck in the store with the shopping cart full of Christmas ornaments and Christmas like chocolate, more chocolate, and some more chocolate, and then some ornaments and stuff. So Jack Cooper heads home. He brings all the stuff to BT, and he's like, "Hey, let's decorate." So BT, at this point, BT has already spray painted the house, red, green, and white. So, um, yeah, it's 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 it wasn't really a clean spray paint job either. Um, in some spots, it looks like someone kind of died because like the splatter of red. But in other spots, it looks like mold is taking over the house. Um, and then this guy named Jack Baker walks towards the house, and he's like, "Oi, why your house?" He's not British. He's like, "Why is your house growing mold? That's my franchise's stuff." And he's like Jack Cooper responds, First off, who are you? Second off, that's not mold. That's the Christmas spirit." And Jack Baker's like, "What? What is the Christmas spirit?" And Jack Cooper's like, "I don't know." And BT's like, "It's the thing that has people celebrate Christmas." And just at that point, Hammerlock comes home holding Will Ferrell um by the neck. He's like, "I have found this feral Will." And Jack Cooper's like, "Oh my god, no, 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 put him down, put him down." And Will Ferrell takes off running and calls the police, obviously. And suddenly, the Christmas house is the weird looking spray painted house is surrounded by police officers and a SWAT team. And BT's like, "We shall fight." And Jack Cooper's like, "No, no, 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 these are the good guys." And um so instead of fighting, Jack Cooper's like, "Hi, we surrender," and they toss out all their weapons on the floor. They're like, "We're not even gonna use these. Uh, this was all a big misunderstanding." And they're like, no, I don't think it's a big misunderstanding. You kidnapped an actor. Like, yeah, that was this guy. He's not related to us at all. And so then they take Hammerlock and they throw him in jail for the holidays. Um, Luckily they get that sorted out and he comes home. But yeah, so now that that's done, um, BT's like, hey, you want to decorate? So they start decorating the house, and they spray paint a little more to try to make it look less like a murder happened there, and more like a Christmas house. And eventually they spray painted. It looks really good. And actually, I'm gonna use a picture of their house as this podcast episode's background. Ah! Oh yeah. Okay. Anyways, um, yeah. So they they celebrate the holidays. Hammerlock comes home after bribing the police officers. Um, and then Claptrap falls from a hole in the sky, and, and then Hammerlock almost explodes, and he runs away, and Claptrap follows him, and Claptrap is dressed as a Christmas tree, so yeah. Um, so it's Christmas Eve, and BT is in recharging standby mode. And Jack Cooper is asleep. Suddenly, a thump from the roof. BT was still in standby mode, and then another thump, and Jack Cooper wakes up, but BT stays asleep. He's like, "What? What was that?" And he hears a few more thumps, and then he hears a reindeer noise, which I have no idea what noise they make. I was gonna make a horse neigh noise, but I don't think they neigh. So, yeah. So Jack Cooper is like, "What? Someone on top of the roof?" And their fireplace gets extinguished magically. There's like this sparkle of glitter and stuff, and he's like, "Huh?" So he goes to pick up his weapon, but he forgot that the police took it. So he goes to his crafting table and makes a weapon, um, the Halo CE Magnum, and uh, yeah. So Santa Claus comes into the house and he's like, ho, ho, ho. And Jack Cooper's like, stop right there, drop your weapons, get out of my house. And Santa's like, oh, uh-oh. And so Santa tries to explain how he's Santa and he delivers presents to everyone in the universe, or just all the little kids. And Jack Cooper's like, uh, okay. And, and then Santa slips and falls and dies. And then he disappears, and Jack Cooper, he's like, oh my god. And the cloak, there's a tag inside of it that says, if the previous owner died, put this on. And then Jack Cooper becomes Santa Claus. No, 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 never mind. We're not repeating the plot of that one Santa Claus movie. Scratch all that. Santa's still alive. He asks if Jack Cooper wants to go on the sleigh. And so then they go around through town flying on a sleigh powered by jet engines instead of reindeer, because reindeer were too expensive, so the elves designed rockets and just hooked them up to the sleigh. So, yeah. Um, they eventually they land somewhere, and Jack Cooper's like, Santa, this was awesome. Will I see you around? He's like, ho ho, no. And he disappears. And now Jack Cooper's stranded in the middle of town. And he's walking. He's like, oh man, it's freezing. And it starts snowing. And like, normally, if he was wearing like the right clothes, it would be a really magical moment. But no, he froze to death. Nah, I'm kidding. That didn't happen. He's walking down the street and he's like, oh god, it's really cold. So he goes looking for um, somewhere to take shelter because his house is really far away. And He ends up finding a coffee shop open, labeled the world's worst coffee, and he goes in, and there's this guy dressed up as an elf, and he's like, "Yo, congrats on the world's worst coffee," and then storms out of the store. And Jack Cooper's like, "Huh? Why is everything an elf reference?" And inside of there's a Santa Claus sitting on a throne made of beef and cheese. And Jack's just like, "Yep, nope, I'm out of here." And oh man, I completely forgot. What happened to Jack Baker earlier? Uh, this is what happened to him. So Jack Cooper was walking to find another place, and there's this like humanoid figure frozen in the ice. And he looked over. It was Jack Baker from Resident Evil 7. At least I think that's his last name. Baker, not from Resident Evil 7. Anyways, he's like, oh man, he got frozen. So he tries to unfreeze him using Fire Aspect 2 on his glove, and he unfreezes him. And Jack Baker is like, ah! And he's like, oh wait, you saved me. Okay, cool. And he disappears back into the Resident Evil universe. Anyway, so Jack Cooper's walking down the street. He's kind of warmed up by now, because he's using Fire Aspect 2 on his clothes. And no, his clothes aren't on fire, but yeah. So he's walking down the street and it's snowing, and he sees decorations everywhere. And suddenly a big black car drives by, and then they stop right next to him, and a ton of soldiers hop out of the car. And like, no, not soldiers, like guys in suits. Like, Jack Cooper, we need you for something. And he's like, huh? They're like, we need you to try this spaceship for us. And this robot we crash tested that might work, but we need a pilot, and you're a pilot, and you have the helmet. And Jack, ah, sorry. Jack Cooper's like, nah, I ditched that stuff years ago. Me and BT just live happily in somewhere. And the secret agents, the spies were like, no, we need you. And then this one fake Russian guy hops out. He's like, comrade, come with me, blit. And Jack Cooper's like, that is a horrible fake Russian accent. And the guy's like, not is not. You follow me, right? I have AK-47. And Jack Cooper's like, what? I can't even understand you. And the guy's like, I love you. And I don't know, fake Russian accent. And so Jack Cooper just starts running. He's like, yep, nope, no. He doesn't run. He's like, yep, nope, not dealing with this. And he starts walking away. And then they all hop back in the car and drive forward and then stop right when where he walked to. And they hop out and try the same dialogue again. And he's like, nope. And he takes off running. And then they start following him. And then Jack Cooper remembers he has a portable crafting table with him. So he crafts rocket boosters and flies away. And then he flies all the way to his house, flies down the chimney, which Santa had reactivated. So he flew down the chimney and almost caught himself on fire. And he flew out of the fireplace, covered in like smoke and the soot or whatever it is, and yeah. So BT's like, "What on earth happened?" And he's like, "Well, Santa happened." And then they go back to sleep, and they wake up, and there's presents on. Well, there were presents earlier, but they didn't notice them. There are presents on the ground. And they're like, yo, this is awesome. And they open one and it's a snowball, like, maker. And so that they go outside. It's a snowball maker because BT can't really make snowballs with his robot hands, I think. They're too far apart to, I don't know. Anyways, they make snowballs and BT's like, ooh, what is this? And then he gets hit in the face, well, in the shield, the ball? No. He gets hit in his robot face with the snowball. He's like, huh? So then he launches a snowball at Jack Cooper, and luckily it misses, but it takes down the tree behind him. He's like, whoa, 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 no, we play like we just lightly toss it. So then they have a fun Christmas day, and they uh, play snowball and drink hot chocolate somehow. Thanks for listening. Bye.